Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
2 people are in custody in Minnehaha County in connection with the murder of a child in Kansas City. Tuesday evening, authorities arrested Lakevis Sloan as well as a 17-year-old boy as they got off a Greyhound bus in Sioux Falls. Both are charged with second-degree murder.
Investigators in Kansas City say the shooting that killed 6-year-old Sir Antonio Brown happened about 2 weeks ago. Authorities say the suspects fired shots at a house hitting the boy. Detectives are still looking for a third suspect. Sioux Falls police say a body found at Faywick Park does not appear to be suspicious.
Wednesday afternoon, officers found a 58-year-old man dead at the park. At this point, the cause of his death remains unknown. Officials are waiting on autopsy results. One man is dead after a Wednesday afternoon crash in Minor County. The South Dakota Department of Public Safety says it happened north of Epiphany, which is northeast of Mitchell.
Authorities say an SUV was southbound on Highway 25 when it rear-ended a southbound lawnmower. The 66-year-old driver of the lawnmower was pronounced dead at the scene. The 37-year-old woman driving the SUV was not hurt. South Dakota's Highway Patrol is investigating the crash. The group Downtown Sioux Falls will have a larger presence in the downtown area to address safety concerns among business owners and residents.
The group hosted a meeting in Sioux Falls on Thursday so people who live and work downtown could air their concerns. Downtown Sioux Falls will have an additional 4 to 5 people known as ambassadors to assist visitors as well as watch out for any potential safety threats to the public.
I think that would be great. I think the more presence of people monitoring and trying to address the situation, the better. I've seen as my travels in other big cities over my career where they've put bigger focus on their downtown.
While most of the people attending the meeting said they feel downtown is still a safe place, they raised concerns about aggressive panhandling and late-night traffic noise.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Good morning, Brian.
All right. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everybody. Weather today, well, for the most part, it's the temperature being cooler. That's the number one story as we start to scour out some of the smoke issues, although we're not done yet with that smoke problem. I do expect today in western South Dakota a little thicker haze for Custer and Pine Ridge. Temperatures struggling to, well, get out of the 50s today. I don't think we'll make it out of the 50s in Brookings, Worthington, Marshall. Clouds have a lot to do with that too at times. Coming up tonight, more 30s for some of those same locations. We'll have a closer look at that forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Brian. Over 200 students pushed past the poor air quality to compete in their final track and field regional in Hartford.
Officials with the regional meet say they monitored the athletes carefully and did allow substitutions if needed. This was their last regional meet before state next week.
They know this is their last chance, for a lot of them to compete maybe this year, those who didn't make the state tournament. So they're giving it their best effort, and it's fun to watch.
The 2023 state track and field meet will take place May 25th through 27th at Howard Wood Field here in Sioux Falls. A Hartford area woman is recovering in Minneapolis after having a double lung transplant earlier this month. To help with some of the expenses, a Sioux Falls pizzeria will host a benefit this weekend. 64-year-old Deb Bender was diagnosed with idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, or IPF, in 2015.
She saw a transplant doctor in Minneapolis in January, and those close to her say the disease had gotten worse. As May 7th rolled around, Bender's birthday, she received a gift like no other, a transplant.
She's like a transplant rock star. I keep telling her that. She was off the ventilator within 48 hours, which is very rare. She was out of ICU after 4 days, another rare thing. She's got her tubes out. She's walking down the hall now.
Bender will have to stay in the Minneapolis area for a few months for daily checkups and appointments. The benefit at the pizza shop runs from 8:30 to 11 on Sunday morning. Failure to approve the debt ceiling could have a far-reaching impact even on state governments of South Dakota, Iowa, and Minnesota. All 3 states depend on federal funding, but that money would be cut off if Congress cannot come to an agreement on raising the debt ceiling.
USD's Professor Michael Card says the debt ceiling is raised to pay for things we've already spent the money on. He says historically, when we have a president of one party and a split Congress, we have trouble raising the debt limit.
It's because we keep increasing our debt limit because we keep increasing our debt because we either don't raise taxes or cut spending or some combination of the two.
Congressman Dusty Johnson says both Republicans and Democrats need to come up with a compromise to get past the issue.
70 years ago today, KELOLAND Media Group signed on for the very first time and became the first television station in South Dakota.
To mark our anniversary, both the city of Sioux Falls and the state have issued proclamations. For the state, Governor Kristi Noem has proclaimed May 2023 as KELOLAND Media Group's 70th anniversary month. Here in Sioux Falls, today has been proclaimed as KELOLAND Media Group Day by Mayor Paul Tenhaken.
And join us tomorrow night as we take a look back at the biggest stories of each decade since we've been on the air. Our hour-long primetime special airs at 7 o'clock Central Time on KELO TV. We'll also have 2 showings on KELO Extra.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, weather today, well, it is definitely cooler out there. Northwest winds and temperatures this afternoon. Looks like 60-degree weather west of Sioux Falls, but east, not even to 60 today. It looks like we'll fall short of that in Watertown and Marshall. And with that said, too, there's going to be some pretty chilly weather tonight. 30s are out there. I wouldn't be too shocked if Brookings was at least down to 36 or 37. The Watertown number, I think, might be just a tad bit too cold. But, you know, it's interesting that that shows up, isn't it, on Futurecast at that low level of 33. But I'm more inclined to say probably 36, 37. But at any rate, it's cool and chilly. Tomorrow, we're back on track for 70s, though, west of Sioux Falls, and plenty of those numbers. In fact, that's just the start of a nice warming trend into next week as we say goodbye to this shot of cooler air and look at the weather to our northwest. It's all warming up, so widespread 80s, and wouldn't take too much to even have a couple of 90-degree highs next week in western or somewhere in central South Dakota. Highs today, there's the map, 57 in Brookings, 58 degrees Watertown. Tonight, Sioux Falls are down to about 39, and then tomorrow, 71 in the afternoon. 82 by Monday, 84 on Tuesday. Chances of rain by day 6 and day 7. Aberdeen and the Northeast, we're looking at highs into the upper 70s and low 80s, and chances of rain there by Tuesday and Wednesday. Scattered, it's a possibility. It looks like we'll probably wait, though, till the end of next week before a little better shot at some storms. And Pierre in central South Dakota, highs in the 80s next week, and that's pretty warm. Again, the Black Hills a little more susceptible to some scattered shower and thunderstorm potential throughout that time period. So we'll continue to watch for that. Check out the latest details with your weather forecast, all the headlines and more, of course, online at KELOLAND.com.